Hey, I want to share with you three quick tips for determining whether a medical malpractice claim has merit. Number one, it begins and ends with damages. If you do not have catastrophic or substantial damages or injuries, it's not a case worth pursuing. Medical malpractice cases cost a fortune. On average, on the low end, about $20,000, on the high end, about $200,000. So if you pick a bad case that doesn't have merit and you lose, you are not only going to lose all of your time, you're going to lose a ton of money. So only pick cases involving catastrophic or substantial damages. What does that mean? Death, brain damage, paralysis, loss of limb, or blindness. Blindness in either one or both eyes. Those are the five simple criteria. So when a new call comes in, the first question that you'd ask, how are you doing today? Because if the client is doing well, then that's it. You tell them with brutal honesty, I really appreciate the phone call, but we only handle catastrophic medical malpractice, and this does not meet our criteria. I'm sorry that we can't help you. You might send them a link to a Department of Health complaint form or a digital copy of your book about medical malpractice, whatever it may be, but only accept cases involving catastrophic or substantial damages. So let's say that it's not that clear. Then ask the client, how are you doing now? If they say I'm doing fine, then that's the end of the discussion. You just took what could have been a 1 hour conversation and boiled it down into 5 or 10 minutes. Ask them, are you currently treating for your injuries? What medications are you taking? Does the injury prevent you from working or doing anything in your life? What is your diagnosis? Has any doctor told you that you have a permanent injury? So those are types of questions that you can ask to find out whether there is a permanent substantial limiting injury. So that begins everything. 98% of cases will not meet the criteria of a permanent substantial catastrophic injury, and you can let them go. That's rule number one. That's going to save you a lot of time. Number two, you have to evaluate these cases with one very simple criteria. Would a jury easily be able to understand this case? So for example, someone calls you, my daughter went to the emergency room with severe chest pain. They did no testing, and 3 days later, she died of a heart attack. That's easy to understand. A jury could understand that someone complaining of severe chest pain, they should have done an EKG, blood work, maybe a stress test. If there's no workup for a heart attack, that's a clear violation of the standard of care. And once you've defined that clear issue, then you know exactly what questions to ask in depositions of the doctors. You say, when a doctor presents with the signs and symptoms of a heart attack, aren't you supposed to do testing to rule out a heart attack? Regardless of what the doctor answers, you've got them locked into a position that makes no sense. If they say, no, we don't test everybody, well, they look like an idiot. Now, number three, let's say a case comes to you involving severe catastrophic injuries, but it's complex, and you don't really know whether it meets the criteria of a violation of the standard of care. Here's the secret weapon that I have. I have a retired physician named Charles Gableman. He and I have worked for over 20 years together. I pick up the phone. He doesn't charge me for just basic phone calls. I'll say, here's the facts. What do you think? Or we have a case management software called Lead Docket, and I'll email Dr. Gableman, take a look at the new Jones case. Let me know if you think it's worth getting the records. He'll look at the summary of the case, which might be 3 to 5 paragraphs, say, no, that's not a case, no violation of the standard of care. So in other words, if you have a complex set of facts and you can't make sense of it, you have to have a relationship with a doctor who can make sense of everything for you and basically take what could be 5 hours of research on your part, condense that into 5 minutes. You will save a ton of time. And Dr. Gableman has been an invaluable resource for me over the course of my career, just running questions by him. And that is it. Case selection is the most critical part of determining whether a medical malpractice case has merit. And if you do case selection right, then it doesn't really matter what your trial skills are, because these cases will be resolved if you pick the best cases that have merit. That's basically it. If you like this video, please leave a comment. I'd really appreciate that, and I will respond to your comment. And if you like it, please subscribe and click the bell that's right next to the subscription, and you'll be alerted whenever I have a video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.